Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Sun. And this is a new horror film from the people over at Shudder. And this film is directed and written by Ivan Kavanaugh, who previously has had some other kind of horror thrillers like The Canal and Never Grow Old and films like that. And coming into this film, so not a whole lot of films that are easily recognizable, big films. His previous film, Never Grow Old, had John Cusack and Emile Hirsch, who returns into this film playing a cop who builds this connection with this woman played by Andy Matichak, who is Laura, this woman whose son is visited by a creepy group of people one night in his bedroom, and the son is played by Luke David Blum, and this boy David has these people in his room. She runs out trying to get attention, calls the cops, has her neighbor call the cops, and when she comes back, her son's almost stripped naked, disheveled, nobody else is in the room. And all these strange health issues start happening with her son, like adhesions and pains and like sores and blood pouring, vomiting up blood. And you're wondering, what the hell's wrong? And you're sitting there thinking, well, this is a horror movie about a creepy kid, so Satan. So that's the kind of crux of this film is there's a lot that goes into the background of Laura, and she had been connected with this cult, she had been molested, she had spent time in a mental institution, but she's developing this relationship with Emile Hirsch's character, this cop, and she has to go on the run because she starts hearing people want her son. She has this paranoia. And throughout the film, you start to be challenged by the film, by Kavanaugh, if she is just hallucinating these things, these are all in her head, or if something's really happening with her son. And you start to learn that strange things and occurrences and actions help her son get better. And if those things are really happening, there's something messed up with this kid. And you have that underlying idea of you have the devil involved here, which the imagery that they use of the devil, Lucifer, Satan throughout this film is horrifying. And just the design, and you only see such little shots of him. And that's what makes it work so well. And this film in general is really well shot. There's strong cinematography. It has a distinct, eerie look to it. The way the camera moves, how the framing is set up. It works. The score and the sound in general are creepy, except this does that really annoying thing where you decide to like have jump scares purely from just how loud you can throw the music out there, and it's really annoying. And I wish that horror movies would stop doing that. Shudder, you're better than this. And you just have that going on, and you every time. And like, what's worse is it ruins some great editing. There's one particular piece of editing where it looks like it's alluding to the son David's vomiting up blood, and it cuts, and there's just blood on white. It looks like on a white wall, but then you realize it's actually red paint on a canvas because Laura's a teacher teaching art, and I'm like, that edit's amazing, but they ruined it with the obnoxiously loud music. And it's just like, trust in your film, and you won't have to do cheap crap like that to get scares. And this film has the scares. The tricky thing about this story is it's very tropey. There's a lot of things going on here that you're like, I've seen this, we've been there before, but it brings up enough mystery, and of course has a crazy horror movie twist ending kind of thing that leaves you just like devastated and like the just downer ending. So if you're not into downer endings, this is one of those kind of horror films that's probably going to disappoint you then. But it's creepy, it feels earned, and the way that that final scene is shot, revealing some seedier kinds of realizations about some of the characters, it really works. And the performances, Emil Hirsch does a fine job in this film in his smaller role, but Luke David Blum as this child David, he's good. He's creepy. But Andy Matichek, who plays Laura, our main protagonist, she does a fantastic job, and she does the role of the Scream Queen. She does the role of this female horror movie lead considerably better than most. And I think Matichek does such a great job in this film. She sells the emotional baggage because this film is a dark, twisted look at motherhood and how far you would go to support and defend your child, even though there's some seedy things about this kid. And that's where this film will go. And it'll challenge you. And I appreciated those themes because it made this film have more depth than it could have. And in the end, it might be tropey. It might feel like a lot of other horror films. But it's well put together, despite the fact that it has some really obnoxious auditory jump scares. But it has depth in some of its themes in terms of motherhood and that mother-child connection. And it has some strong performances. So honestly, I would like to see more work from Ivan Kavanaugh and Matichek, who's the lead in this film. So honestly, if you're a horror fan and you want some good scares and an eerie film, go check out Sun. But those are my thoughts on Sun. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.